welcome in. Let's check out some records. I think it's borderline criminal that I've reviewed so many records and for some reason I've never reviewed a Hyperion. Hyperion is, from the beginning, an audiophile English label that were doing smaller, sort of lesser known works, small, orchestra or chamber and some vocal works, but they executed on a very high level. I mean, they had Kenneth Wilkinson doing sound engineering. They did direct metal mastering. A lot of their pressings are from Germany, or were pressed in Germany. So here we have Brahms, clarinet quintet, clarinet trio. Thea King, she did a lot for them too. We have the Gabrieli quartet, and it's just, this is, how to explain. If you're had one shot to impress your friends or something with a disc to show them what vinyl can do and what it can sound like, this would be a great one right here. Or literally any of the Hyperions from the analog era. And they did analog into I think about 84. This is a 1983, but there's, they, maybe 84, 85, they're still doing all analog direct metal master discs, and every one that I have sounds absolutely demo quality. You'll just, your system gets an upgrade. Just putting it on the turntable, you just gave yourself an upgrade. It just sounds that good. Just immediate. You can hear the fibers of the bow against the string, everything, and just genius recording, spare no expense pressing, Hyperion. They're really good. This disc would have maybe almost made it into the out there, or out in the weeds section, but I'll show you in a second why it hasn't. Anyway, this is Marin Marais, La Sonnerie, de Saint-Genevieve de Montpéry, and other Baroque treasures. So it's also got Bach, Telemann, Pachelbel. So this is on I thought it was on the Peters International label, but it's actually on the Arion label. But there is Peters International here on the other side, so I don't know how exactly they are incorporated into this. And Arion is not a very popular label either. I haven't seen too many of them. And so on the actual disc itself, it just has Peters International. And this design, very progressive for 1976. So, okay, let's give it a shot. It's in mint condition. I thought, okay, well, let's just try it. It sounds really good. Very well recorded. And another thing that kind of tipped me over too was Kurt Redel, he's really good. And this is also with the Munich Pro Art Orchestra. It sounds like it's not the final word for audiophile, but it's definitely audiophile grade. It's sharp, it's intricate. It is generally fairly well balanced, a little bit mid-heavy in parts, but really good. And one thing too is actually Martin Marais, this piece here, the Sonnerie, I'm surprised I don't hear it more. It's very accessible, very tuneful, and I would think that I would see it more with Telemann and Bach and compilations that have Vivaldi and stuff like that on it. I would expect to see it more, but I'm not sure why it's not more popular. It sounds great. I love the composition, and I think this is the first time I've ever actually listened to it, and it sounds really good. So this disc is great. Arion, okay. I definitely have a couple others that weren't that great, but this is a great Arion. And the Peters, I don't know how they're involved, but they are. And you gotta love that logo. That's someone's niece or nephew that just graduated design school. They're just let's turn it into a lollipop. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. It sounds great. And then I realized actually I did have a stack of discs that I didn't listen to yet. I have it here on Musical Heritage Society. I don't know what's up with this cover, but anyway, we got the cherub there, and it's the same thing. It's on Musical Heritage, so let's 1-to-1. Let's go. Let's see. It's on Musical Heritage Society. As you know, I love them. Especially their dark green label. That's when they really came into their own with great pressings, either their represses or their original performances that are on the green press. I get them. They're always cheap and they're always really good. And okay, so going back and forth between these two. Yeah, a slight deficit, I will say. I'll say it's there. Generally, the tone is great, dead quiet as usual on Musical Heritage Society. Whatever vinyl they picked, thank you. It's quiet every time. But I will say just a little bit of that vibrance. It's a little more laid back. Usually I'd say for better or for worse, but in this case I say just okay. It's very close, so I'd be happy with either of them. Yeah, I will give it to the original pressing on the Arion, or Arion Peters. So, yeah, but not by much. Still, Musical Heritage Society showing that they can make a fantastic repress. I would think probably they got the masters. Like that would be my thought. It just doesn't sound like a second generation repress to me. Not at all. It sounds like they got it. They got the real deal. Now here's a gatefold Erato 1979 Donizetti overtures with Orchestra de l'Opera Monte Carlo with Claudio Schimon. So of course it's going to be on this black, and Erato, it's going to be a great pressing, quiet, and very well done, and this is no exception. It sounds really good. Excellent sound, audiophile grade. Absolutely. I would say no pops, clicks, anything like that. It runs very smooth. And the pieces are interesting, although I'll say they are a little simple. Donizetti sort of pre-Verdi, and he sort of ushered in the romantic, really rubato-affected sort of opera. So he kind of started that, and then Verdi took it to the next level. Or he came before Verdi, but... So some of them, I'm like, I like the tune, but I just somehow can't quite get into it that much because they seem kind of so simple. But it's a very well done disc. I'll keep listening to it and probably get more enamored with it as time goes on. But it's interesting. You don't really see Donizetti overtures, so that's cool. It's very cool. And you couldn't fault at all anything with the Erato. Some of the Eratos have a little bit of top end crunch to the very high parts, but this one doesn't. It's got a lot of body to it, and I don't feel like it's lacking bass in any way. It's really good. Oh, I said for Simon with Analog Anorak that I would review this one because, okay, so yeah, I found it on my giveaway pile, and I thought, why the heck would I give away a Hyperion? That makes no sense. So a digital Hyperion, I'm like, no way, even if it's digital, I want that. Rubinstein, heck yeah. But then opened it up, what do I find inside? A Lyrita. Very rare on this side of the pond. For me anyway, I hardly ever come across them. So we have Rubra. Symphony number 8. No cover, obviously. The cover is wrong. So I'll show the proper cover. This is Philharmonia Orchestra with Norman Del Mar. I believe this would be Kenneth Wilkinson doing the sound engineering. It's 1982. So right at the very, very end. And it's made in England. It's not a Dutch pressing. So Lyrita, so I guess it's not Decca, but they used the Decca recording team. And Analog Anorak did a excellent piece on that. Check that video out about Lyritas, and they're audiophile through and through. Now this disc in particular, it isn't in the best of shape. It's in good shape, but I won't say that it's flawless at all. I can see a couple hairline scratches and whatnot. So anyway, how does it sound? Oh, really good. I am just taking out a couple pops and scratches that I don't think would be there if you actually had a flawless disc, but minusing those out, oh wow, is it balanced. It's just the definition of just a well balanced orchestral piece. It sounds really, really good. You can turn it up, it sounds good. Play it soft, it sounds good. Just, I don't know what to say other than it's not lacking in any department. It sounds wonderful. I keep listening to it, trying to get more into Rubra, who's obviously not super popular. But I don't. The thing for me is that it just keeps soaring. It just keeps building and soaring and building, and I have no time to recuperate and refocus. It just seems to just keep going and going, and I'm sure it's just my juvenile mind can't comprehend it, but I don't know. The composition, it's not for me, but it might be for you. It's the disc alone though. I mean, just the sound of the disc. It's Lyrita. They're so good. So here's a King analog Beethoven septet with Vienna octet. I thought for some reason I actually could do a 1-to-1, but I didn't. Anyhow, that's pointless. It's 1972. It's not King Super Analog, just King Analog. It sounds wonderful. It's got that glow to it. They kept everything. It sounds great. It's not some King Analogs I've heard that are, people say that they're bass shy, and I've heard some too that are bass shy. I have some that are bass shy. What am I saying? People. Me. I say they're bass shy sometimes. But this one isn't. This is full. It's great. I don't know. I don't have the original, but I'm sure it's not far off. It sounds really, really good. It's all Japanese on the back. It's 2,000 yen for 1972, so that's quite a bit. That's a pretty expensive piece for 1972. But yeah, really good. Okay, next up we have the Grateful Dead. No, we have Saint-Saëns, even better. Tone Poems, got Danse Macabre, La Ruée de Enfer, Phaeton, and some others. This is Pierre Duvaux conducting the Orchestra de Paris. It's on Angel and the orange, like Fire Angel. So that's usually a bad sign, but this disc is quite decent. It's not really lacking in a major way. It's a bit dull, there's a bit of a noise floor, but overall it's pretty well balanced. And the strings sound quite gorgeous actually on this, which is surprising. But overall you can feel that it's sort of like a second generation repress, but the performance and the recording, you can tell, are just great. Really lots of reverb. For the Saint-Saëns tone poems, usually the Dutoit and Royal Philharmonic is sort of the benchmark, but I think this can go head to head any day. The performance, really, really hypnotic, excellent, very well done. So I'm going to recommend that if you can find the EMI on the English pressed EMI, then I'm pretty confident it's going to sound really good. I think it's on a green postage stamp. Yeah, I would recommend that for sure, just going by this. Another recommend where I'm going to recommend a disc that I don't have is this Vanguard. It's on the Cardinal series. So the Cardinal series is their budget, where they, if there's 2 pieces on here, they'd put 3 kind of. So they put more time and give it at a lower cost, slightly worse pressing. So this is Tchaikovsky, Prokofiev, and Arensky. It's the English Chamber Orchestra with Johannes Sommery. Very vibrant, very excellent, a really good sound, considering Vanguard is kind of not known for super high end, not really, and the Cardinal is like their budget, but I'm still hearing some great stuff here. So I did track down the original, which is a quadrophonic, and it doesn't have the Arensky, it just has Tchaikovsky and Prokofiev, the Serenade for C and strings, and the Classical Symphony. I think that's going to sound really good. For a Vanguard, that'd be one to look out for. So if you see this, it's the same cover, basically. If you see that, I think that'd be really good. And yeah, the Cardinal, okay, they are what they are. They're a budget repress. I get them confused, actually, with the Canides, because they look the same. They have that same white feel to it. This, I believe, is I should have said the other one, 1972. So in another video, I mentioned that there was a Canide that I really liked, and Canide is, I think it's sort of the budget or offshoot of Vox. Well, it's definitely a division of Vox. I think it's their kind of budget offshoot. And it's this one here, the Renaissance harp with Elena Polenska on harp. So this has ancient music on it. It's got things like the rebec, the recorder, Irish harp, crumhorn, viola da gamba, stuff like that, lute. So it's really ancient stuff, and it's still, I'm not going to say it's audiophile, but it sure is approaching it. There's a bit of a noise floor there, but I think it's because it's kind of close mic'd, and it's these, instruments that you don't hear. They're kind of percussive and really plucky, that it kind of has an audiophile feel to it. So it's really quite good, quite pleasant to listen to, and very well executed. It's also a quadrophonic QS, which I'm almost sure that's the best one, is the QS, if you can find it. So there's lots of upper end extension on it. And yeah, the cover, my, what is going on here? There's wild stuff happening here. There's the ladies with the cones, and then there's these gremlin guys down here. But what this actually is, it's Le Bal de Ardin, and it is a depiction of a tragedy that happened actually, Charles or Louis? King Charles, I believe the 6th, had he was throwing a big lavish party, and a couple of his friends showed up just as for fun, covered in not stark, covered in something in pitch, like I think it's what's the material, I'll put it up here, but anyway, they were all dressed up like this, and thinking it was funny, but accidentally, pitch is almost like oil. It's like an old school, really kind of halfway between oil and tar. And anyway, one of them went by a torch and it caught on fire, and the other ones caught on fire, and I think there was 5 of them, and 4 of them actually died. So it was a tragedy, and then it was a big social thing saying, they were sort of representing barbarians at the time and not Christians. So the reason they died is because they weren't, they were depicting that. So it was sort of like a political issue at the time too. And that's what this painting is about. So it kind of went on like a little budget repress tangent here. This one, I really just wanted to hear it. I had no expectations of the sound quality. It wasn't expensive at all. But this is Ravel playing Alvarado de Gracio, Rhapsody Espagnole, Mother Goose Suite. This is Orchestra de Cento Soli. with Argenta. So Argenta, he's very well regarded, very cool. So I wanted to hear what he had to say for this Ravel, which sort of has that Spanish feel to it for these pieces. So anyway, it's on a music disc, Graveur Stereo Universal. I've never had good luck with them. They, in fact, almost all of them are deficient in some way. This one as well, deficient. Not recommendable for the sound quality anyway. It's a very good performance. Interesting. They did it different. I like what they did. It's definitely, I'm happy to have it, but unfortunately, sound isn't that good. And you think, well, repress, what's the original? But I look at all the originals. Everything I can find is actually only like music club stuff and just sort of record club. So they might actually be good. I'm not sure. But this one isn't. The music disc ones are almost never that good. And they kind of look like this. This has it's got this sticker on it on this one side. But anyway, they are what they are. For the music, it's good. They really specialize in French music. So there's a lot of French stuff on there. But quality, it's just noisy. It sounds a bit distant. There's weird peaks here and there. So yeah. Okay, let's move on. One more of the sort of weird, I don't even know if this is a repress, but I was searching and I just thought I gotta get it because it's Oistrakh. So it's Oistrakh, Mendelssohn, and Glazunov with the National Philharmonic Orchestra with Kirill Kondrashin. So I was like, well, okay, what is this label? It looks like a hokey repress label, but I just couldn't find an original for this. It just couldn't find it. And I'm researching about design, and yeah, they do some hokey stuff, sure, but really lightweight stuff. But on the back, it's saying it's copyright by Pickwick, so they own it. But in almost all of my wild journeys for Russian music from Russian performers, it always ends up with Melodia somehow, or the state recording agency. It all starts from there, and I'm pretty sure this is. So anyway, it's called Design. Is the Stereo Spectrum Records in Authentiphonic stereo process. So it's old school. So I think it's like 58 or something, or 57. It's really old. And it sounds old. It doesn't sound good, I'm sorry to say. I was excited for it. I thought maybe it'll just have that glowy, old school tubey sound, but it just sounds really old, really second rate, I'm sorry to say. It's a shame, because of course Oistrakh, everything he does is great. So of course he's playing beautifully, but it just doesn't have it. So, anywho. This next one is really a fun record. This is Johann Christian Bach and Antonio Salieri, Sinfonias, and also a Concerto in C for Salieri. This is the English Chamber Orchestra with Richard Bonnage. It's a 1969 pressing, narrow band, English pressing, and it doesn't say Kenneth Wilkinson and Kingsway Hall, but I think it's either James Locke or Kenneth Wilkinson in Kingsway Hall, I would assume. I mean, it just sounds so good, so open, beautifully microphoned. The actual performance is really intriguing. It's sort of like the polar opposite of what you would find on, say, an Archive or Telefunken, where they would be more of like a militaristic sort of upright J.C. Bach with older instruments, historically interpreted performance, and very rigid, and that's wonderful to listen to as well. But this is just the polar opposite. It's very flowy, it's open, there's rubato, there's romance. Everybody involved was just having a great time with it. It's sort of like J.C. Bach for a Saturday morning, and just really pleasant and very accessible. It's just wonderful. I really like this one. Here's a rare out there disc, Stastrophon disc, Mozarteum Quartet, Salzburg. It's got Haydn and Mozart. It comes on this green disc, middle green, German pressing. It's a German label. Funny thing too, they misprinted the label, I think, because it has the M for mono 33 here, but it is stereo. It says on the cover stereo, and it is stereo when you play it. Very good sound. Definitely, yes, audiophile grade. It's an excellent disc, flawless condition. It plays very well. They do a good job. I don't know if this is a well-known label or not. It looks like on the back they have about 30 other releases, so that's really strange. And on the bottom there's this an edition. I'll just put it up here. Decamera. There. So it's maybe their chamber series for this disc. It is quite good. I would definitely look out for these. I love the cover. It just suits it. It suits it so well. It looks very audiophile cover, and I just like it. Looks great. But yeah, overall the sound quite good, close mic'd, on good equipment. definitely would sound, I think, better on certain people's systems and not. Like, it does have a particular sound. It's not just like a middle of the road. There's a bit of peaks here and there, but generally quite good, and a good round bass to it too. So very good. Here's a disc you're not going to see every day. Iwamoto Marais String Quartet, Schubert, Death and the Maiden Quartet, and also Tchaikovsky String Quartet in D. And this is on JVC. Ooh, I don't know how, I can't even remember seeing another JVC disc out there in the wild. Very rare. Comes on this orange disc. Half of the disc on both sides is dead wax, so that's a good sign. It's definitely purpose-built for audiophile. It does sound very good. It has an audiophile feel to it. It's different. It's definitely different, and the spatial qualities of it makes it's a little strange spatially to me. It feels sort of like it's recorded in a long hall, not very wide. That's just kind of the impression that I'm getting. It might be different on your system though. But definitely audiophile grade. And the performance, at first I thought it was a little reserved. I was like, well, there's good musicianship there, but it feels a little bit too reserved and safe. But the more I listen to this disc, I actually really like it. It's a little more subtle. Sometimes when you put on, you think, okay, I just want to relax. I just want to listen to a string quartet. And they get really emotional and very, thrashing on the strings a bit in certain parts. You're like, no, that's not what I wanted when I put on the disc. I want to just relax. This one, you can do it, and it's really good. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out for JVC. Also, it's quadrophonic CD4. Cool, very cool. Japanese pressing, of course, I should say, JVC. So yeah, it's a Japanese pressing. Very good.